right. What is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin has finally taken out the 60K lows, and what we suspected could happen up at this $82,500 resistance has ended up playing out with that big swing short position coming down to take out the lows and potentially continue a bit lower here. So we are getting the swing failure pattern on the day, but it is not looking too strong here. And our impulse doesn't look complete yet either. So welcome in, everybody. Yeshwant, much love to you. Thank you for tuning in from India. Samuel S., yeah, we need some breaks, right? Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for modding for me. Stefan Dingus, like button hit. Thank you for that, Stefan. Thank you for the support. Guys, please do hit the like button if you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream. If you just enjoy the live stream, or, just hit that like button for support. This week has been a pretty tough week for me. I lost a lot of unrealized profits it left a lot of unrealized profits on the table, and didn't capitalize fully on the short positions that I could have capitalized on. A lot of them. We'll go through the ZEC trade. Yesterday, we talked about that distribution breaking down. It got the breakdown that we were looking for. We talked about NEAR. We'll talk about gold. A few things like that. So, not quicker. Quick, draw some bearish psychology squiggly lines. All right, let's do this. All the way down there, and then we'll keep it on the chart, okay? And now, hopefully, the market makers will see that we're flipping heavily bearish, and we'll get that long position. But not quicker. Much love to you, man. Welcome in. Crypto Wanderer 5813. Awesome to see you in here. Much love to you. Eric, what's up? Dylan Wadia, let's go, people. This better not be a shallow dump on the weekend. We need a big one. Well, we got the SFP now, and I'm going to cover the Elliott wave analysis here, but we could see a small retrace up to the value area low over the next week or two. Limon 536, think bottom is 50K. Yeah, the bottom could be 50K. Honestly, the way this impulse is looking, this support between 58 and 56 is super strong. But man, this might continue to dump here, guys. Mach HK, much love to you. Yeah, I agree. This is not the low. I don't think the overall macro low is in. I do think we could get a bit of a retrace. Otter Anderson, Anders Rum, welcome into you as well. So guys, we were looking for an impulse down after our ABC correction here. ABC correction, we were looking for an impulse to the downside to take out our 60K lows. So that has now officially been done, accomplished. But is this dump over with? And yesterday we went through a Elliott wave count. Let me just go to the 2-hour chart. We went through an Elliott wave count where we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a small wave 2 retrace up to that 382 Fibonacci. So that was your wave 2. And this entire move down has been a wave 3 in the making. Increase in volume, massive increase in volume, making it way more likely to be a wave 3. Look at our volume is still increasing on the dump, guys, and that is concerning. And looking for the wave 3 to end before potentially seeing a bigger wave 4 and then one more wave 5 as well to finish this entire impulse to the downside. So looking inside of our wave 3, you can see very clearly, yesterday we talked about this as well. Let me delete that one. Let me delete that one. I'm going to hide your not quicker bearish reverse psychology. We're going to put it way down here so we don't delete it on accident. Okay. Inside the wave 3, let me go to the 4-hour time frame. We have seen this 1, 2, 3, and yesterday we were forming a triangle, which I said was likely to be a wave 4, and wave 4s often form inside of triangles. And then we would see a breakdown of that triangle to take our 60K lows in a wave 5, and that could end the third wave. And then we would be looking for that fourth wave retracement between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci before seeing that big dump down to our more macro support level at $58,000 to $56,000. So if we're looking at the third wave being done now, 1, 2, 3, we got the triangle in 4, and then our 5. And now the 5 might not be done yet. We did SFP. It's not looking the strongest right now. So if this still might continue a little bit more, it might continue to 58 for the end of the third wave. And let's see how this SFP reacts. Right now, I am watching on very low time frames that golden pocket because we did have the confirmed SFP. We broke 5-minute market structure bullishly by taking out these lower highs in here. And so there is a small possibility that we can long the golden pocket retrace here. If you missed the SFP trade, which I did not get into that. I let you guys know in the Telegram that I was not looking to get into that. If we see this kind of pullback here to this golden pocket, we could look for a long from the golden pocket if we see some low time frame bull divs on the chart. But let's now zoom back out here and let's look at our wave 3, pretty much the breakdown from 78K, our wave 3 breakdown here. And if we're looking at this retracement, our wave 4, our macro wave 4 retracement, we're going from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3. We're going to put on those wave 4 targets, and you can see we have some very nice confluence with these wave 4 targets, guys. Our range point of control is in perfect alignment with that 382 Fibonacci. And then our 0.5 Fibonacci is going to be in pretty close confluence with the top of that pitchfork band. So what we see often with pitchfork trading, we rejected from the midline here. We fell straight through the band. And if we do continue down here, we could see a bounce from the bottom of the pitchfork band or the bottom of the pitchfork, excuse me, or we could come down and like see a little bit of a wick past it, but close the daily candle at or below, just like we did at the 60K lows. And then we could see that wave 4 retracement come in over the next couple of weeks up into that area. Now, that's our daily time frame wave 4 retracement. And then we would be expecting one more impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you would want to take out wherever the low is. Right now, our current low is the SFP of 60K, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the official end of wave 3. I would say we're getting towards the end of this wave 3 down, this bigger wave 3 down. And if we're looking at that impulse, wave 1, wave 2, we're in our wave 3 now. You know, it could be done here. It could come down a little bit more. And then we're looking for that 4, and then we're looking for that 5. So this should take a few more weeks to play out on the higher time frames. Now, lower time frames, we should be looking for scalp long opportunities because obviously you don't want to look for shorts near the bottom of a macro dump. We are getting that confirmed swing failure pattern. But I have to say this, we are not seeing the best confirmations here, guys. We do have some, look at the money flow on the 4-hour on Market Cipher and money flow on the 4-hour on NAMI are both leaving aggressively. Now, I understand we do have some bull divs here. We have bull divs and we might form a third drive of bull div on Market Cipher. And you can see we already have 3 drives of bull div on NAMI. But when that money flow is leaving aggressively like that, oftentimes you will create another drive of bull div until that money flow is bottoming out and starting to curve up. And usually by the time Market Cipher's money flow is bottoming out and starting to curve up, you see NAMI's market flow has already crossed into the green or is about to cross into the green. So 4-hour not looking the best. If we go to our 8-hour chart, on the 8-hour chart too, we are still seeing that money flow leave pretty aggressively here. Let me just pull this up full screen. You can see that it is starting to come out again here. Our momentum wave looks like it wants to roll over. And then if we look at the NAMI, we printed a hidden bear div on NAMI. And yeah, I know it's kind of printing in a weird area here, but you can see money flow is leaving out again as well. It's just not looking the best in my opinion. And going out to the daily time frame, we have now officially had that daily candle close, a couple daily candle closes below our value area low, and the daily time frame on Market Cipher B, the money flow is just now crossing into the red. You can see it's just now crossing, and that was from yesterday's confirmed red candle. Today is another big bearish candle here, and that could continue. We do not have any bull divs on the daily, not even on NAMI now. We have now invalidated the bull divs on NAMI. And if our daily candle closes pretty bearish like this, it is going to continue to invalidate those bear divs. Bull divs, excuse me. And then on the weekly time frame, we are closing our weekly candle below the value area low, or we haven't closed it yet, a Sunday. Obviously, Sunday's our weekly candle close, but if we close the weekly candle below the value area low, then we do have potential to continue down. And especially if we close the weekly candle below the 60K lows, that is going to be big, big scary news for Bitcoin, because we might see a bounce from 58,000, but that means the bear market could get pretty aggressive here, guys. We could see a pretty aggressive bear market coming in, and we might see that dump into like that 41K zone. And I know Mach HK went over this. We went over this part of Mach HK's Elliott wave analysis the other day, but we could be seeing a larger WXY or ABC, whatever you want to call it, a three-wave zigzag correction to the downside that gets pretty aggressive. And if we're looking at that zigzag correction target, let's see here, there to $39,000, guys, 40,000, around $40,000 we could see. And then if you go all the way to the 1.236, that is your 33,000, about $34,000 to $32,000 macro support, most crucial support on the chart. Now, I don't think we're going to get down to the mid 30s, the low to mid 30s. Could we? Yes. We do know that Bitcoin always dumps more than most people suspect in the bear market. And historically in these bear markets, if we look at the bear markets, Bitcoin usually does correct quite a ways down. Let's pull from the lows. Actually, I should probably be on the index chart. Let me go to the index chart here. Index chart. And we could actually just even go from like the 2018 bear market low. We can, it's the same pattern, guys. We really come down to like towards that log golden pocket every single time. So there we go to our golden pocket. We put that on log scale. Actually, it wasn't the log golden pocket. Maybe that was from the COVID low. But we see a dump. We see dumps that are like 80% usually. That was a 77% dump to the downside. Here we get a 84% dump to the downside. This is another 87% dump to the downside. So you get the idea. We dump a lot more than most people think. And if we're looking at, let's just like take an average, you know, in the, let's just say 70 to 80%, and we see a 70% dump to the downside. Guys, that's 30K. It is possible. I will not get that bearish unless we break this anchored VWAP from the bear market lows. This is our overall macro volume-based trend support, right? That an anchored VWAP is a trend support, but it's based off of the volume, which we know volume is the most important thing to look at in these markets, volume and liquidity. So we're coming down to a very, very crucial support. If we can hold this support level, we could see a nice bounce and even new all-time highs come in. But if we lose this anchored VWAP, you know, maybe we come down, we SFP the 49K lows and come back up and reject bearishly that anchored VWAP, then I would expect continuation down. I would expect this to continue kind of pushing to the downside. And once again, if we're looking at this, like Machi was looking at as an ABC or a WXY, in my opinion, I would probably look at it more as a WXY, a three-wave move here in a W. You get your three-wave move here in an X, and then maybe we get this dumping to 49K, SFPing 49K to come up to that anchored VWAP, and then you come down, and then that would be your Y. You're getting a series of three-wave moves in a larger zigzag correction. That's the WXY correction. So if we get that, you know, we would expect to dump, and your one-to-one target, like I just showed you guys, would be around $40,000, $39,000, $40,000. And yeah, I mean, it could get very aggressive here. And it does also kind of make sense with the monthly bear divs we had. We had a lot of monthly bear divs. We had a lot of weekly bear divs. And the stock market is pretty much at all-time highs, guys. It has been at all-time highs these last couple of weeks. And if the stock market does see a major correction, we know that Bitcoin will continue in that correction as well. Continue to dump with the stock market. All right, let me check the chat here. Much love, you guys. Yeah, Machi, I think this weekend's going to be interesting as well. Uh, I think this wave 3 hasn't finished. All right, yeah, I think you're talking about. Let me just zoom into the 4-hour time frame. I think what you're talking about here is. Are you talking about this wave 3, Machi HK, or are you talking about the overall larger wave 3? Let's go back to Coinbase. So are you talking about this wave 3 from 78K to where we're at now? Because I don't know if that's done either. It's very clear inside the wave 3. It's very clear that we have a 1 and a 2. Now this all could be part of a 3, guys, and the 3 could continue down even more. We do have that triangle that formed yesterday, and if I zoom in on the lower time frames, let's just go to that 15-minute time frame. This triangle that was forming was a pretty nice. Triangles often form in wave 4s. Let me just say that the triangle that was forming here in that wave 4, they are pretty nice, guys, and they happen quite a bit. Let me turn off my magnet for a second. You can see that triangle that was forming in here. You broke it down, you back tested it, and then you come down and make new lows. All right, we're coming into golden pocket right now. Let me throw that back on the chart. Coming into our local golden pocket. Let's see if we have some bull divs on the chart. Man, no bull divs on the 3-minute. Money flow is exiting again on the 3-minute. Let me go to the 1-minute chart. Man, no real bull divs here, guys. And let's look at our order flow as well, because we're at that golden pocket, and we should be looking golden pocket 786. It's kind of that zone between the golden pocket and the 786. Let's go here. What are we seeing right now? Yeah, not too much here, guys. We don't have too much here. At least we're not seeing bearish CVD divergences here. But you know, I would want to see some bullish absorption here. You would want to see a higher low in the price action. You would want to see this making a lower low, and then you would want to see your open interest increasing. And we can see here, this is relatively flat, and your open interest from that low, open interest is actually not increasing. Here it's increasing, but you're not seeing that steady, nice increase that you want to see. So for me right now, guys, with the way this market has just been continually dumping, I am now establishing my discipline, and I am going to wait for a sign of strength. I don't care if I miss a trade. I don't care if you know, this thing pumps without me, but for me, I will look for a sign of strength. And remember, trading is about your risk management and your stop loss. So if you could get in here at the golden pocket, you could long this, you could put your stop below the low, and then you could be targeting that value area low. Let me just zoom out to the hourly chart. You could be targeting that value area low, which I believe is going to be around 65.5-ish, 65.4, 65.5. That is a very nice trade, right? A 7.7 risk to reward ratio. But for me, what I would rather be doing is I'm okay taking a trade that maybe has a little bit less of a risk to reward ratio if I have confirmed signs of strength here. So you can see in this entire move down, we have no breaks in market structure. We have no bullish breaks in market structure, not even on the 1-hour chart here, not on the 15-minute chart. We had a 5-minute break on the SFP, but that was it. That's a 5-minute break in market structure. For me, I'm going to be looking for a 15-minute break in market structure or more. So what I'm looking for is, let's say we want to now break that SFP high that we just created at 61.5. If we come down, you know, chop, maybe we get another SFP of the SFP from earlier, then we come up, we break that market structure bullishly, and then we retrace. Then I will be looking for a long on the retrace after a bullish break in market structure. And yes, your stop actually would be pretty much relatively the same, a little bit less. You know, you'd be getting into a 6.5 instead of a 7.5 risk to reward ratio trade, but you would have that added comfort that you have now more confirmations to enter that trade. So for me, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I have obviously lost a lot of profits this week, and I am not going to be trying to knife catch something here, guys. I am going to reestablish that discipline and wait. And yes, and I'm okay missing, I'm not on here to show you guys a screenshot, a P&L screenshot of the absolute low and say, oh, look at me, I caught this. I'm here to make money, and I'm here to actually start building wealth and a foundation for my future, my family, and everything. So for me, it's about having that confirmed sign of strength and scraping as much money as I can away confidently with that. All right, yeah, we'll cover some of the altcoins as well. We'll cover Cardano. Benny Blanco from the Bronx, welcome in, man. It's good to see you. Bansbell, much love to you. Yeah, the stock market is rug pulling as well. Well, Bansbell, we talked about Micron, and I talked to you about how that Micron stock was getting close to the end of that fifth wave to the upside. Let me go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we were looking at this as a bigger 5-wave move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside your fifth wave, you were getting relatively close to the end. And sure enough, if we take our base our base pitchfork, right, from the lows of 1 to the highs of 1 to the lows of 2, you can see this pitchfork. We did come up and reject from that upper band there. Now, yeah, this is dumping, and I'm sure on lower time frames we have broken market structure. Actually, you're not really. If you start to Bansbell, if you start to lose these prior highs around $820, then you're going to start really getting concerned. I would start getting really concerned. But we knew that around $1,000 was time to start taking profit. We knew that this thing was going to start to retrace soon. You had bear divs on the weekly. Yeah, see, that's where your golden pocket is as well. So you want to hold your prior highs, and you want to hold that golden pocket right around 820 to 805. If you start to lose that, that is when you could see a bigger drop. But for now, we could see, in here, I mean, what is this? 1, 2, 3, and that's a smaller 3. That's an extended 1. You could say maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's done with. But that's not much of a 2 in there, right? So you could see a bounce here, and that would maintain bullish market structure overall, and then you could actually make it up to the top of that pitchfork. But I would just be careful with this, Bansbell. You don't want to lose 820. All right. Come to Papa. Yes, Machi. 39.3 is my main target, and 32K is my dessert. Awesome, man. Well, I'm going to be watching those targets very strongly as well. Okay. I'm here to remind Ryan P. Oh, yes. Yes, Spartacus, thank you so much. I want to show you that P911, and I'm there was a lot to kind of cover. So this is Porsche's stock here, guys. And Spartacus pointed out to us that we have on the weekly time frame, actually this looks pretty good on the weekly time frame here. So first off, this thing has been in a dump pretty aggressively, but you can see that selling exhaustion that's starting to come in. You're starting to kind of find that channel-like structure, and you can see we have the bull div on the chart, money flow bull div on the chart, crossing into the green on the weekly, and we printed a hidden bull div followed by 2 bull divs and money flow crossing into the green here. Now, obviously, it would have been better to get in on this on the reclaim of the value area low, so you want to pull this bottoming range in here, and once you start to reclaim the value area low and flip it right here, you could have entered a swing long right here. Now you're getting towards the highs of this range, and I would not be longing this thing now. What we're going to want to see on the weekly time frame for like a long-term spot buy is I would want to start breaking some of these highs, either, even if it's this high here at 48.79. The best high to break would be the range high at 49.70. But if you break that range high at 49.70 and then you see that retrace to golden pocket, that is going to be where the ultimate swing long could come in, or spot buy could come in, and we can pull a theoretical fib there. Let's just go from the lows, and I'll put it right above that SFP, and you can see golden pocket, value area low, point of control area. So like that, $41 to $40 area, this would be a really nice support, and that would probably take you a couple months though to play out, right? Because this is on the weekly time frame. By then, hopefully you have another maybe bullish trigger wave, because you'd expect this to come down and see something like this, and you'd expect this to come down. It wouldn't be another drive of bull divs because you're not making a lower low here, but it would be the bull divs followed by the bullish trigger wave, and that would allow that expansion. Also, if we're looking in terms of Wyckoff accumulation, we want to see in that Wyckoff accumulation, you want to see your tap 1, your tap 2, and then you get that tap 3 in there. And that is that model 2 accumulation, right? You got your tap 1, your tap 2, your tap 3. That is your inverse head and shoulders on the weekly time frame with weekly bull divs on the chart. That could give you your big explosion to the upside. So for me, I mean, it is looking good. And if you're super bullish on this thing long term, then it's not a bad opportunity to buy now. It's just there's probably a better entry if you get in and better confirmation. I just talked about having that peace of mind and confirmation with the break in market structure. But Spartacus, you can see clearly here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your 5-wave impulse to the downside. So after a 5-wave impulse finishes, you're having accumulation in this zone with bull divs on the weekly. Now we can pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from the highs of the impulse all the way to the lows of the impulse. And you're looking at that logarithmic golden pocket as a potential target for your expansion. You could expand all the way up to $75 to $78. That is pretty much where the listing was for this thing. You could see the listing price, but you also have some key liquidity resting in here, this kind of liquidity trail that was created in that zone. And then you could even look at your naked monthly points of controls and see if you have any naked monthly points of controls in there. You might have a naked monthly close. Yeah, see in this zone here, naked weeklies. It's not going to go back that far, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a pretty good, pretty good zone, pretty good stock to be looking at right now. The big thing is if the stock market is going to see that macro kind of correction, then this is probably going to correct down as well. So we can set alerts here around, actually, I'm not going to set an alert at 40 yet because this is a theoretical fib that has not been tapped yet. If we look at our current Fibonacci golden pocket, let me put that on a regular golden pocket. Yeah, it's still going to be around 40 bucks, 40 bucks here. And so we'll set an alert around 40 and we could say, spot buy, and I will let you know, Spartacus, on that. You can also keep reminding me in the Telegram and in the streams here. All right, let's get back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not SFPing. We are not holding that golden pocket. Let's see this. Yeah, we're not holding the golden pocket, guys. 786 is, but here's the thing here. Look at this. 3-wave move. Actually, that isn't even a 3-wave move because you didn't take out this high. It just doesn't look the best here as far as 786. Yeah, you're at your 786 right now, but you're starting to lose that 786 even. To me, this thing looks like it wants to continue down. And we saw a lot of people longing this SFP here. That could be used as fuel to continue to push us down here. We have to be very, very careful. Money flow is still leaving here, and we did not see any bull divs on the low time frames when we were coming into this zone. How did you get this weekly anchored VWAP? Mine shows 89. It depends on what chart you're using. So like on the Coinbase chart, let me go zoom out to the weekly time frame. On the Coinbase chart, on the weekly time frame, I'll show you right now. We can just delete this one. Okay, I'll take my anchored VWAP. You're going to set it on the absolute low, and you can see it's coming to 58K. If we go to Bybit, on Bybit, we take that anchored VWAP, we set it on the low, and it's this low. Oop. Wait, let's see. That's at 15,450. That's at 15,437. So you set it there. You can see we're actually breaking it down already. It's a little bit higher. It's going to be at, the Bybit one is going to be at 68K pretty much, not 58K. So it's $10,000 higher. But I don't know which anchored VWAP you're talking about it's coming down to 89K. You might be talking about the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. I'm talking about the anchored VWAP from the bear market lows. So I hope that helps answer the question for you. But the two charts I looked that I use most for volume, I use Coinbase and then even the index chart. The index chart here, you can see that index chart. The anchored VWAP is still just below us as well. On Binance, the anchored VWAP, I believe, is even a little bit lower. Yeah, you can see on Binance, the anchored VWAP comes down to 42K, guys. So, Not, hopefully we don't follow the Binance Anchor VWAP. I'm sure Machi HK would love that though. Machi, I'm sorry, but I don't want to go down that low. I mean, it would be a good buying opportunity. Okay. Or maybe we're in the finish 4.5s. Yeah, I agree. Machi HK, I agree that on the lower time frames, we're definitely in the 4.5s, right? So in this impulse to the downside, we're definitely in the 4.5s here. And it's tough because this is all really choppy in here. And I mean, not really choppy. It's really straight down, right? And now we're starting to get that choppy overlap, like choppy overlap range here. A little bit of a choppy overlap range in the triangle. And even now we're kind of seeing some of this little choppy overlap. But to me, like if you zoom out, this is on the 1 hour chart, even zooming out to the 4 hour chart, this thing looks like it's straight down. Look at that, straight down pretty much. So, with volume increasing, that to me tells me that this is all part of a wave 3. And, you know, we had our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was your initial wave 1. You got a very small in time and price wave 2, but it did retrace to the termination point of your lower degree wave 4, which is what we often see. And then you get the big, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could see that. So we could be looking at one more kind of small bounce and a 5, or this could have been it. The triangle 4, 5 could have been it. To me, the count that I'm actually going with right now is that the triangle was a wave 4. And then we're inside the 5th wave, but the 5th wave could not be done yet. We could come down to 58K for the 5th wave to be done. And that would just end your larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Your larger 3rd wave. Then we would be expecting that bigger retrace up to the 382.0.5. And then we would expect another low to be made. And maybe that second low is going to be at 56,000, which is our macro value area low. And I actually want to check Binance, because we want to take, this is in terms of market auction theory, guys. We have our range in 2024. So for the year of 2024, the market, the fair value of Bitcoin was between $67,000 and $70,000, with your point of control being around 63, your fair value, your absolute fair value. After Trump won the election, after some geopolitical things happened, the market repriced Bitcoin in new levels of price discovery, and we formed a new range up here, a new zone of balance. And that new zone of balance, it was considered overvalued at 110, which was the value area high. It was considered fair value around 96, 97, and it was considered undervalued around 86, 87. But we lost that range and we fell back inside of your 2024 volume profile, meaning the market was no longer pricing the fair value of Bitcoin at 2025 levels. It was now repricing Bitcoin back down to 2024 levels. And we spent a significant amount of time, 2.5 months in there, right? And then we broke out for another month and a half, retested some key resistances, and we're dropping back inside of that volume profile. We're actually at the value area low of that volume profile right now. If you look at this volume profile, value area low is at 60K. And if I just throw a horizontal line on, where are we at right now, guys? We're at the value area low. And so you can see here, Bitcoin value area low, 60K, 60K. That is why we bounced where we bounced, because the market was willing to buy at undervalued portions within 2024's price, but not, we had a sell-off when we started to come up and retest this upper range. But what we can do now is we can take both of the ranges and we can combine them, because now the market for the past 2 years has been trying to find the price balance of Bitcoin between these two ranges. And now that we found reacceptance back within 2024's range, we've rejected a lower high target and we're finding reacceptance back in the range. You can pull the two together and you can see that value area low is coming in at $56,000. So that is going to be a very, very important support level, because if we do start to lose $56,000, that is when we could see, you know, a move down into the 40s, into to take out 49 and potentially even into the low 40s, maybe that 39 to 41K zone. And if we look on the monthly time frame, do we have any monthly levels in there? Not really. Sorry, guys. I know this is a mess right now. That monthly has been tapped already, it looks like. And then if we just go to the weeklies, you have a weekly at 54 or 55.8. I can't remember what it was. It's at right there. 54.9. Yeah. So you have a weekly at 54.9, which is going to be very, very close to that value area low. You can see that value area low, that weekly level. Other than that, you have some internal liquidity, and then you have your main liquidity resting down here at $49,000. But the next weekly level is coming down to this weekly down here. We can mark that weekly level out. That is going to be at $42,000, pretty much 41.5. So makes sense, guys. It does make sense that we could see that move down into the low 40s, which is where your anchored VWAP. And this anchored VWAP, by the way, I know it's a little bit above this, but if we continue to dump down here for the coming weeks, that anchored VWAP is going to start to roll back down, and it could be pretty much right where that weekly is at 42,000 or 41.5 by the time we get down there. Unfortunately, like, crypto is just not taking off like a lot of people thought it would, and we're seeing the attention shift to AI. And there's a lot of money going, a lot of liquidity going into AI. There's also a lot of liquidity that's going to be sucked up from the SpaceX IPO. So we could see, even in the traditional market, which is much larger than the crypto market's market cap, there's major concerns by some of the big players that the SpaceX IPO is going to suck up liquidity and cause liquidity problems in the traditional markets. Now, if that happens, the crypto market's going to be far more affected because there's far less liquidity. And a lot of that liquidity that was focused and shifted towards crypto is now kind of focusing and shifting towards AI and other things there. So, this could get really bad for Bitcoin. Another thing to think about, your total market cap, guys. Our total market cap is still in our bearish pitchfork, and I want to go to the daily time frame. First off, you can see inside this bearish pitchfork, and let me just get rid of these local ranges. We're losing the value area low of the range harshly, okay, of the past 4 months. But you can see how well this pitchfork has been respected. We bounce from the bottom, reject the top, reject the lower limit of the top band, fall through. We bounce from the bottom of the band perfectly. After bouncing from the bottom of the band, you see that three-wave corrective move. You reject from the midline. You made a higher low, and then we broke above it, flipped it, but we weren't able to make it up to this area. And remember, I said if we make it up to this area here, that's probably going to be Bitcoin at $87,000. But we've now broken market structure, obviously, very bearishly. And we still, I believe, let's see. Yeah, we just took out the lows today on the total market cap. But there's, other than the liquidity that's here, there's nothing else really here. We could drop down to the lower band again to either one of these levels. And we've lost the midline with no reaction at all. So it is actually likely, in my opinion, that the total market cap keeps dropping. And we haven't seen a tap at the bottom of the band. I think that in the harsh bear market, this is your bear market, your macro bear market pitchfork band, which is very, very strong. They have really good confluence. We could see a drop all the way down, guys, to $1.6, $1.5 trillion market cap for all of crypto. And that would get, we're just crossing into the red on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, we were printing very, very, very significant bearish divergences here. You can see 2024 all-time high, beginning of 2025, end of 2025, bear divs across the board, money flow bear divs on those last two ones, and no bull divs. We don't have bull divs. Now, already, if we start to make a move up, we'll have weekly bull divs here because we did just take out the low today. But this thing could drop to the midline to get those bear divs on the weekly, or it could even drop to the bottom to get those bear divs on the weekly. Bull divs, excuse me. I'm sorry, bull divs, guys. And then our total USDT, USDT dominance here. Still pushing up, about to take out these two highs, these semi-equal highs. And I talked to you guys about this, man. When we were chopping here, when we hit this 382 Fibonacci, I told you guys to expect an impulse to take out those two highs, semi-equal highs here. And this is clearly an impulse, and we're coming up. We haven't taken out that liquidity yet. This was clearly a three-wave corrective channel, and now we're impulsing. And if you go watch my videos from weeks ago, this is not hindsight analysis. I was letting you guys know this ahead of time. I had this purple box or this green box marked out on the chart with the naked weekly and the daily about 3 weeks ahead of time, letting you guys know that this could be a major level where we see the USDT market cap continue to push up. And we're so close to taking out those highs, guys, those semi-equal double highs from the top of the last bear market. I think it's going to happen. We also had a perfect accumulation here. Look at this range in here. You have your tap 1, you have your tap 2, you have your tap 3 right into the 886, which often acts as support in a sideways range. And now we're in the expansion phase. And inside that expansion phase, we're not done with the impulse yet. Well, technically now we could be because we just took out that high. But it doesn't look like this impulse is done yet. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just things are not looking the best for crypto right now, the crypto market. And the really, really scary part is that we are in a overall kind of macro uptrend on USDT dominance. Now, of course, some of that is because we kept adding liquidity into the crypto markets through USDT, but it doesn't have to SFP these highs and then roll back down. We could see this thing 1, 2, all of this being a 3, a 4, and a 5. We could see something much bigger push up here. We could see this accumulation continue in expansion to much higher levels. And it would kind of make sense to me that could happen. The bullish case scenario is you take those 2 highs and then you start to see that move back down. But this could get a lot more aggressive to the upside here. We are potentially going to form some weekly bear divs, but it's not even close to forming yet. Money flow is still curving up. And NAMI does already have 1 drive of weekly. If we get that second drive of weekly printed, that's when I would say the bear market is coming close to an end. But we're not there yet. We're not there. Sudeep, much love to you. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome in. Guys, I do want to take a minute here to shout out the partners of the channel. And I also want to talk about a new campaign that BYDFI launched. And it's going until June 12th. But so the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you'll get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, just depending on the amount of volume you trade in those USDT futures markets. And USDT futures markets doesn't just include Bitcoin, it includes all the altcoins as well. So just by trading on the exchange, you can earn up to 8,100 extra Bitcoin or USDT. They're giving some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. If you deposit $100, you can get a 50% bonus. They're giving you 20% deposit bonuses up to a $1,000 deposit and 10% deposit bonuses up to a $20,000 deposit. So if you deposit 20K, you'll get an extra 2K in your account there. You do need to KYC level 1 in order to qualify for the bonuses, but that's every exchange. Also, I have partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community. It's a private community, but it is free to get into. All you have to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description below. And when you, after doing that, you have to deposit a minimum deposit of $100. You can deposit more if you want to get some of these bigger rewards, but a minimum deposit of $100. And then once you've done that, you click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And in that Telegram verify channel, you type in /verify in your user ID, which will be right up next to your little character guy. And that'll get you into the Telegram. /verify in your user ID. Another thing that BYDFI has recently done. Let me grab the picture here. All right. We do have a new campaign that is running on BYDFI. So this is based on your trading volume here, guys. If you trade more than $1 million, you'll get $130 worth of Bitcoin for free. And this is going through June 12th. So if you do more than 5 million, you can get 330 worth of Bitcoin. If you trade more than 20 million, you can get 800. 50 million gets you 2,500. If you trade more than 100 million, you can get $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. There's a link. I'll set this link in the description. Let me just grab this, copy this. I'll post this in the description here. And if you want to sign up, if you guys are already logged into BYDFI, you got 9 days, 18 hours, 10 minutes left. you can earn extra Bitcoin just by trading on the exchange. So honestly, guys, if you're already trading on the exchange, just sign up. If this was me, which you just sign up anyways, and if you don't hit any of the rewards because you don't make the volume, then oh well. But if you do, you'll get some extra cash, right? Yeah, extra Bitcoin actually. And with Bitcoin being low right now, say they give you $130 worth of Bitcoin when it's at 58K, and then the next, it pumps up to a new all-time high in a couple years. That $138 worth of Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more because Bitcoin's going to have doubled or tripled. All right. Let's get back to Bitcoin here real quick. I want to see what is going on. Yeah, guys, we're dumping. We're dumping. No SFP. I'm telling you guys, like I'm looking at, first off, the bottom of the pitchfork is going to be at 58.8. But I think we're probably coming down to 57.9 to about 58K, guys. It looks like we're going to see that move down. And in this, let's say this was a wave 4 triangle. Where's our, there's so much choppy overlap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe that was your big third wave. And then now you have a 4, 5. You need 4, 5, 4, 5. So we would need 2 more lows, 2 more choppy lows because you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All that has choppy overlap, so you cannot count that. Maybe you could count that as a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracting diagonal. Wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then this next low could be a wave 5. But I would say that's 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to see 4, 5, 4, 5. We need a few more choppy little overlaps on like the 15-minute, 1-hour time frame. But yeah, dumpage is coming. Let me just, guys, I want to get my exchange ready to buy at 58.9 if that is going to come. All right. Yeah, let's see here what we get. You know what? Not quicker. I think I deleted that brush. Not this one. This is the bearish one, but I think I deleted that brush from yesterday. That's why we didn't go up to 1 million yesterday. Shame on me. This is our big dump one. Maybe not that one. Okay. Yeah, that's our big dump one, our reverse psychology one. But the one from yesterday, I deleted it. So maybe I should just do this and lock it so it doesn't get deleted. And then we'll go up. There we go. Then we'll go up. And we're going to delete this one because we don't want to go down. There we go. I'm sorry, man. Okay, thank you so much, R Pink, for posting all those links in the chat. I appreciate you so much. USDT is going to make a new all-time high. I agree, Mach HK. I think USDT could make a new all-time high today. Yes, another new low, guys. Like I said, I am waiting for a sign of strength. A lot of people played that SFP. If you didn't take a TP1 on that SFP, you just lost a trade. I am waiting for a sign of strength now. I have made losses this week. I am not trying, and lost a lot of unrealized profit this week too. So I am not trying to knife catch this. I am going to be patient and wait. It is better to be patient and wait and not make as much profit rather than try to knife catch 3-4 times. You have 3 or 4 losses. You've lost 4 or 5% of your account. Like, I would rather not lose that 4 or 5% of my account, not lose anything, and wait and get a more peace of mind for that trade, a sign of strength for that trade. Sorry for being a bit too emotional on the stream because my short is printing like crazy. No, man, Machi HK, great, dude. You know what? You deserve that emotion because you have done your homework. You've learned. I remember Machi HK when you first popped into Jason Casper's live stream or his Discord channel. You were in there grinding every single day, learning every single day. And guys, Machi HK should be a good example to all of you that are newer in here and that haven't are newer with trading and maybe are struggling a bit. If you put in the effort in the work and you get the discipline down. Discipline is also an important thing. You get the discipline and the risk management down. It does take time. There is a strong learning curve. A lot of people think trading is a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not. But once you get the process down and the discipline down, which I have really failed this week on. I fully admit I have failed myself this week on my discipline. I have made mistakes that I know are mistakes. Part of the biggest part, in my opinion, of trading is the psychology of it, and not getting too cocky, not trying to catch the, knife catch things, waiting for those proper levels and confirmations of the levels to get the trades. But when you're doing well, you should be proud of yourself for doing well because you put the time and the effort in, and a lot of people quit, or a lot of people don't want to put the time and the effort in. I see people all the time, oh, is Bitcoin going up or down? Where do I long it? Like this. And they don't put in any of the work. But if you put in that work, man, you guys, trading overall can build you immense wealth, and yes, it does take time. It's like that exponential growth curve, right? So you start slow and steady, and you say you even start with a $500 or $1,000 account, right? You're $500, you're risking 1 to 3% per trade. You put in all this time and work for a year, 2 years to learn how to trade, and you make 2% on a trade. You made $20 on a trade. You're like, why did I put in so much work to make just $20 when I could have go, work at McDonald's and make more than that in a day or whatever, But as you start to recompound that and build that wealth, all of a sudden now 1%, once you get up to about $10,000, you're making 1% of $10,000 a day, $100 a day. And then once you start to get up to $20,000, $50,000, now you're making 1 to 5% of $50,000 a day. Then you recompound that back. And once you start getting up into that 100K position size and more, you're making 1 to 5% of 100K a day. You're making thousands of dollars a day. That is, enough to be life-changing, $30,000 a month, let's say that, and obviously you're going to have to give, 28% of it to the government, or short-term capital gains tax to the government. But that is how you build. And this process at the beginning here could take years, and it could be very excruciating because also at the beginning, you're not going to be consistently profitable. But if you can learn over time that discipline, that risk management, and you'll before you know it, 5 years will have gone by. You'll be in trading for 5 years, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, look at how much day to day, it doesn't feel like it's changing that much. But over time, you'll see that change, and you'll really be happy with yourself, proud of yourself, and feel accomplished that you stuck with something. So that is my emotional lesson for the day, you guys. I am very emotional because I have lost and made mistakes this week that I have not meant to make, that I know better than to make. I also am really pissed off that I closed my short position. I didn't get in from the exact highs. This actually happened overnight. When we came up to 82.8, it was overnight for me. But I got in this area in here on the back test. I think it was the second back test of the pitchfork. Once we started to lose 81.7-ish, I got in, but I took profit way too early, and I didn't leave some open to run. When I told you guys for weeks, I was literally harping for weeks about how I was going to take a swing short from 82K down to sub 60K. Actually, I said from 82 to 58. That was going to be my swing short. And it happened just like I thought it was going to happen. It happened quicker and more aggressive, but it happened just like I thought. And I didn't fully capitalize on that, even though I had planned this out ahead of time. My highest probability, you guys can go back and look at the thumbnails, look at the streams. My highest probability was this was going to be an ABC. It was going to reject from 82. Everyone was thinking 87. I said, no, pay attention to 82 and then look for the impulse down. And sure enough, it played out the way it did. Trading is tough, guys. Trading is tough, and it takes a very hard mindset. You can't get shaken easily in trading because you will not be perfect. You will not catch the highs and the lows of every trade. You will leave profit on the table. You could be up $40,000 in unrealized profit, and the next day it's gone, and it hurts. So, yeah, you got to be willing to take those blows and willing to have that, emotional stability and discipline. It's not for everyone, but the people that can accomplish that, it's great. It's life-changing. Okay, sorry guys. Let me get off my high horse here. Okay. My hedge short Ethereum is printing. Ethereum is coming down to a very, very key level, guys. Actually, this level right here, what did I put there? Heavy spot buys. Now I haven't bought any. Actually, I did. I had one limit order to buy Ethereum at 1560. So I guess I just bought some Ethereum today. But it is our 5-year long range. Let me zoom out to the weekly time frame. And you can see this whole upper range on Ethereum going back to May of 2021. So 5 years long. We're coming down to the point of control here of that range. And that is a very, very important point of control. Also, we can kind of see that Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, we kind of have this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and this could be the fifth and final wave down of an impulse to the downside. So either at the point of control or the value area low. Now, if we come to value area low, I think we're going to sweep the liquidity just below it. But I'm starting to look for heavy swing longs on Ethereum. Now, obviously, I haven't taken anything yet. I'm waiting for a cool down. I don't care if I catch the absolute bottom. I'm waiting for a cool down here. But on Ethereum, it could be that this 5-wave move down, and then if this ends, you might get even if it's a retrace, a 3-wave retrace up to golden pocket, and then you continue to crash, this is still a really good swing long there, right? And so you can even pull your golden pocket from the highs to the lows, and you put on that golden pocket. Obviously, you make it on log scale, right? Golden pocket, we'll put that on log scale. You could see a move up to $3,200, $3,300. And by the time we get up there, it's going to be in perfect confluence with the backtest of that pitchfork midline. So if we do something like this, chop in here, get up, get back inside the pitchfork, 3, 4, 5, that's your wave A. You see a pullback and a B, and then you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a C. You get your A, B, C, even coming up to 33. That's close to your value area high. By the time, because we would be down here so much, your value area high would probably shift to this golden pocket. But yeah, it's looking like getting into that arena of starting to get some spot buys in here. But damn, dude, the market is just relentlessly crashing, guys. Relentlessly crashing here. Ah, man. Bitcoin, 59.1. Coming down to the pitchfork. I just want to make sure that yep, okay. So this, I want it to be at... All right. I'm just getting prepared here. I'm paying a close attention to the weekly market cipher B. Yeah, that's another thing. Machi, earlier this, in this range, this daily range, a lot of people were saying 60K was the low. And I kept saying, based off of our lack of bull divs at the bottom, not only on the daily time frame, we had no bull divs. You can see it was showing bull divs on NAMI, and then we invalidated them. No bull divs on market cipher. But historically, on the weekly time frame with market cipher B, you see as we're coming down in the bear markets, at the ends of bear markets, you see weekly bull divs on the chart. You can see lower lows, higher lows, okay? We do not see the bull divs here. But if we come down again, we could get bull divs here, right? Also, the money flow just overall draining out, and then we have to watch for that fake out into the green and come back. And I remember Chichon, I think it was, in the past couple of weeks, Chichon, we were speculating that because Market Cipher was coming back into the green on the monthly, we could be, 60K could have been the low. But I remember specifically telling you, watch out for the fake out. And I pointed out to like these fake outs that occur in the green, and then you kind of get back. So, yeah. All right, guys, I do want to look at Ordi, Ondo, I mean, because on Ondo, I was talking about that 3-wave corrective move, and I'm looking for a potential small scalp long from 31.9 because it's your golden pocket. It is your 1-to-1 trend-based Fibonacci extinction, and it's a naked weekly point of control. So like this zone right in here, I'm kind of looking for a little bit of a bounce for a scalp long. But on Ondo, we were looking at this as a 3-wave corrective move, right? On the weekly time frame, we're in an impulse to the downside. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then now taking out 19.65 as a wave 5, coming down and crashing here. Because this now is looking like it might be a confirmed 3-wave move up in a WXY correction. And we're forming some 1-2s in here. And I want to actually show you guys that. Let me hide this. We covered this yesterday. I need to hide a lot of this lower time frame stuff real quick. but it's setting up perfectly here to be a big third wave to the downside. So I'm not necessarily looking to catch that unless we actually see a bounce from it, and it would be a scalp. But you see, you have your 1, 2, 1, 2, and it looks like in a bullish scenario, it's a triangle and you break up to golden pocket. In a bearish scenario, after a finished 3-wave corrective move, you're building 1-2s in here, and this is going to be a 3 that breaks you way down, and then you get your 4-5s coming to take out that low. Another thing, ZEC, guys, ZEC USD. We saw yesterday, we talked about this distribution pattern up at the top here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, or tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. If you break back inside your range, you could see a drop. And I was looking at the $400 golden pocket, but yesterday when we were hitting that golden pocket, I let you guys know we were hitting the golden pocket, but not seeing good confirmation. We broke our pitchfork to the downside and we're coming to the POC. I think the POC could be a really nice long position. If we're looking at our Fibonacci retracement 786, and we'll put that on log scale. That 786 Fibonacci at 245 is going to be right where that golden point of control is. Pretty much that zone. Why did I just do that? There we go. So, and we've already broken down past the macro golden pocket. So 245 to about 240 is going to be a nice, at least this area here could be at least a nice bounce to back test the pitchfork, right? You had your head and shoulders that broke down. If we bounce from here, you could see that 3-wave corrective move to back test this, and then you could continue lower here and maybe take out your range lows. But I'm going to be looking around 245 for a nice long position on ZEC, a swing long position. So we'll actually set an alert there. Add that. We could say, long if divs. Okay. And then on Near Protocol. Near Protocol is another one that is, I'm looking at a potential long coming up relatively soon. So this is the Binance chart, but on the Coinbase chart, we've been looking at this, a wave 1, a running flat and a wave 2, your wave 3, and then we were looking at 1, 2, running flat and a 2, 3 came right up to the 1.618. You got a pullback in a 4, and then you got your 5. And we got that WXY pullback in the 4. I covered that last week. We got that 5. We hit the 308. It was a weekly level, 308, and it was also your previous range value area high. Now we're dumping hard, and what we could be seeing now, because we had a daily time frame impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's finished, you can drop to golden pocket. Now, this golden pocket is from the lows of 3. This is just the golden pocket of your wave 3. So inside your wave 3, right, we have this bigger, hold on, let me go to this chart. You have the 1, 2, 3, and then now we're looking at, actually this has been invalidated. We're going to say this was the 3, and this was the 5, and this was the 4. So it looks like this is done with, right? Your 4, 5 does look a little smaller than your 1, 2, but it happens sometimes. Now we're looking at inside your wave 3, you had a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. You had that 3, 4, 5 in there. So, but if you pull a golden pocket from the lows of wave 3, was it the lows? Hold on, let me grab this one. Yeah, the lows of wave 3 to the highs, actually to the overall highs, you can see this logarithmic golden pocket is coming in right at the pitchfork midline. And we bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork band. We got above the midline, and we pretty much rejected from the upper band. We front ran it just a little bit, but coming down to that logarithmic golden pocket at 176 is going to be pretty important. And if we actually look at pulling all of this, now that we've found reacceptance back within this range, we can pull the two together. Man, I don't want to come down that far to 134. Here we go. And then we could even look at if this entire impulse from the lows to the highs is finished, then you could look at your macro golden pocket on log scale. Not on log scale, you can see it's coming down to that pretty close to that pitchfork midline. Log scale here, you're going to be coming down to 138, 132, and then even 111 would grab this liquidity. We have two ranges. We had this upper range in here, and then we had a lower range kind of in this zone here. And you can see that value area high of that zone is very close to our non-log golden pocket and your wave 3 golden pocket. 162. You can see that right there. It's pretty much what I'm trying to say is this zone, and it is a big zone, but this zone in here is really a nice swing long possibility. All right, let's see. Where is Bitcoin at? Yeah, guys, a failed SFP in my opinion. Failed SFP. Money flow, leaving aggressively on the 1 hour on Market Cyber. Yeah, and alts, Darksby19, welcome in, man. Alts could get much deeper. Not touching ZEC. Yeah, ZEC, man, well, it was so nice to trade, though. Because I longed down here at 316. I took some profit here. I added to it here. I took some profit actually here at the pitchfork band. But I did add again when we back tested this pitchfork band. I did not take profit up here. I wish I would have closed out my long up here once we hit the 1.236. I was waiting for us to hit that weekly level. And you can see my alert was set. You can see I was even waiting for up here at the SFP. But yeah, big dump to the downside. We are right now getting a small retrace. And even if we do something like this, retrace, backtest, then we come down, you could short here. And I will be looking for that short there. And as far as the bearish scenario, this is the high here. We would have to say, even though it's not common, a 1-2-1-2, your secondary 1 and 2 are bigger than your primary 1 and 2. But these are 1-2s in here. You have obviously your big 3 here. We're in a 4 now, and then we get 5, 4, 5. You know, you're going to need 2 more lows on this impulse. So maybe our first low, we're in our first 4 right now. Maybe our first 5 brings us to this, and then we get another 4 and either a double bottom here. You kind of want to see that channel forming, or the second 5 brings us down to value area low. Except Sol because I got destroyed by FTX crash. Yeah, I was buying Sol at $16 and $20. So back in 2022, I believe. But Sol coming down to 58. Guys, I marked this out yesterday. Sol coming down to $58 is where I'm looking to buy some. $61 to $58. And we covered this in yesterday's live stream. I have my alert set. I'm not touching it until we get down there. And once again, you're still looking. This is still wave 1. You have some sort of running flat here in a wave 2. You're in your wave 3. We still need a 4-5, right? So maybe we bounce from 61. We get a 4, and then we get the 5 coming down up to 58. But if Sol loses 58, we're in serious trouble. I think Sol has a weekly level or a daily level at 61. And did we have a... What was else? There was something else in here that we had. I don't even remember my own TA from yesterday. So, was that the 382? Put that on log scale. No, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, there's not much support. Look at in Solana, this move up in here. When you have a quick move up, you can bust through it really, really quickly. So we need to hold 58. My targets are so high. These are targets for swing longs that could make lower highs. So I'm not saying this is the overall bear market low. Like at 58, let's say we come down here, we hit 58. We could see just a 3-wave move up to your macro golden pocket lower high. You know, so you'd pull a golden pocket from the highs of this range to wherever that low is going to be. And you're looking for your log golden pocket. And I'm not saying that we're going to make new all-time highs from it, but it's still... a long from 58 to 158 would be really, really good still, right? That's still a swing long, even though you're not making new all-time highs. But yeah, I mean, say we keep capitulating, you know, this here, you could see here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, you're starting to drop down. We could drop all the way down to $31. That's your macro log golden pocket at $33 to $31. But we'll have to see. You know, I'm not, if we get down to 58 and I have no confirmation, like I just said, I am not trying to knife catch anymore, guys. I will be waiting for confirmations. I don't care if I miss absolute lows. I'm not trying to provide screenshots to brag, and I want to make money. Yeah, we're losing even our large range, our 3-year long range or 2.5-year long range value area low today and yesterday. Okay, so let's go to XRP. XRP's dumping out of this triangle, and we've been in this triangle. You saw how that line was there. And that line was there because a triangle is a continuation consolidation pattern. So we dumped coming into it. You have a higher probability of dumping coming out of it. And what I was looking at here, and we did look at this exact short area, we were looking at the perfect plan that market makers like to do. When you're in a triangle and you start to break out of that triangle, everyone says, oh, triangle's done, we're going to break up. The market makers will oftentimes break it up just to take liquidity from one of these pivots, and then it ends up dumping like it's supposed to. So we saw the perfect market maker trap play out exactly as we thought it would. We were looking at that liquidity, and I believe that was a golden pocket area as well. You grab liquidity, you dump back inside the triangle, and then you get and I said last week, I think it was, if this bottom target doesn't hold here at 132-ish, then you're going to see us take out the lows. And so we have taken out the lows. You didn't hold that support. And by the way, when we were down there, it didn't look good. Let's get rid of that. And we're actually now hitting a point of control of an internal range in here. I know you can't see it from here. There was a small range, but the thing with XRP is because it moved up so quickly in here, it could move all the way back down. And this is very clear. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? You had a 5-wave move, and this could be some sort of larger flat that was occurring in here. Let's just think in terms of market auction theory. You had your balance zone down here. Then after Trump wins the election and during the election, it pumps like crazy. You had a new balance zone for XRP. It lost it. It consolidated in the middle of nowhere, and we're continuing that loss, that distribution, right? Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. In this case, it was a model 1 distribution, not a model 2 distribution. And we're coming down. So we can actually pull from the lows to the highs. And we can look at that logarithmic golden pocket. Now, unfortunately, that logarithmic golden pocket is kind of in the middle of a big imbalance or fair value gap, all of this, right? So we might want to throw on that 786 as well. And that 786 coming down, that's a much better at 62 cents, guys. It's your point of control of this range. And this range is your accumulation range from the last bear market. So coming down to 62 cents would be a spot buy swing long. So we'll do this. Let's see. For me personally, and then 70 cents was the, what was that? That was the value area high of this range. But as far as XRP goes, there's not like the little support we had. We had some support within this little range in here. And if that doesn't hold, you can see this little range. It was the value area low of that range. We're coming to it right now. We're tapping the value area low of a previous small range. Value area low tapped. We took out the lows today. I don't think it's going to do much, honestly. The way this looks, I don't think it's going to do much. I think we're going to keep coming down. If anything, 90 cents is looking very possible on XRP. Man, it just, you know, it doesn't look good, guys. I mean, you could say that this was some sort of contracting diagonal, but you know, without that wick there, I mean, obviously that wick messed up so much things in October. Look at your money flow on this thing. Leaving aggressively. You don't have any bull divs on the 6 hour. Let's go to the daily. How does the daily money flow look? Daily is money flow is leaving pretty aggressively here on the daily. And you printed a hidden bear div on that high. Actually, on this lower high right here, you printed a hidden bear div, meaning you were probably going to break that down. But yeah, I think it's you have a little micro support level at right where we're at right now. But if you don't hold that, you have nothing really keeping you from coming down to 90 cents. Mark Dutch, much love, man. Welcome in, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Cooking and lurking. Awesome, man. Well, hope you're cooking up some good food. All right. This isn't knife catching. Yeah, it's not knife catching. It's samurai sword catching, right? Or like, yeah, good analogy there for sure. I would say around 3 to 4 months of pain. Yeah, and let's just think in terms of the 4-year cycle, guys. The 4-year cycle was right this time around too. We topped out right when we were supposed to. And we do see relief rallies during these bear markets, but the bear market is projected to end in like September, October, November, kind of that 3-month period, with October being the sweet spot. Another thing we could look at is pulling our time-based Fibonacci, our trend-based Fibonacci time. Wait, where's that? Here. Trend-based Fibonacci time will go from the low. Let me just zoom out to the weekly to make this easier. The low of the bull market to the high of the bull market. And our 382 Fibonacci time is in November, right? So generally when you have an impulse like this, your corrective move, you want it to the low to be put in at least after the 382. And so that's November, and that makes sense for the end of the bear market. And you know, the way the 4-year cycle works, 3 years up, 1 year down. So when is that? That is, yeah, November 2nd, or it's like the first couple days of November. So pretty much October, November. Let's go to the daily and let's see if we zoom in on the daily. That is actually, yeah, November 1st, the first day of the month, or pretty much towards the end of October. All right, Bitcoin is coming down to that pitchfork bottom. We still haven't touched it yet, though. I'm watching for sub $30 Sol, and of course, don't forget my 26.5K BTC. Well, okay, Dylan, that is aggressive, but I understand your thinking there. 80% drawdown is, let's see here. 80% would be right around 25K. You know, the average is between 75 and 85% for a bear market. To me, I think though that the mid 34 to 32 is such strong support. I see heavy buys coming in there. And I know a lot of big players, relatively big players, that are looking to buy heavy there. Yeah, please like the stream, guys. Thank you, C-Deep. If you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, please like the stream for me. And also, guys, if you do want to join the Telegram, remember, just join BYDFI using my affiliate link. Deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. And then once you've done that, click the Telegram link in the description of the video and type in /verify in your BYDFI user ID, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And when I'm not streaming and when I'm not making videos, I try to let you guys know on everything that I'm doing in the Telegram. Trades that I'm taking, if we come down to one of those alert levels, and those alert levels, I don't see confirmation, I'll let you guys know, hey, I'm not taking the long. The past few days, we've hit a lot of alert levels, and I told you guys I'm not longing. And thank God we haven't, because we would have been stopped out. Yeah, we're at BTC, CJ. So BTC is under the low. As long as you're not above that low, there's no trade. And for me, I want to come down a little bit more. I want to hit that 57.8-ish. Let's say 57.780, 57.8. Now we could even say if we reclaim the low from earlier today, but honestly, on a macro time frame, you would want to reclaim 60K. You are finally starting to see some bull divs here on the 15-minute, though. We do have 15-minute bull divs. I just want to get that actual pitchfork hit. Yeah, and nothing right now for me here. Quiles, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. My pasta is orgasmic. Awesome. Mark, what kind of pasta is it? Maybe you said in here and I didn't see it yet. Do you think people will even buy altcoins next cycle? I think a lot of the altcoins, Tank Wiper, are not going to go, but there are good projects out there. Hyperliquid's got a really good is really good fundamentals. It makes money. The revenue, monthly revenue is good. I think the big projects, Solana will still survive. I think XRP, Chainlink, you know, Ethereum, even some of the good layer ones will survive this, but a lot of the altcoins are trash and they will never come back. Polkadot. God, you know, and I told Jason this like 5 years ago that DOT was trash and it would never come back. We're still pretty much at all-time lows on Polkadot. 92 cents. Yeah. I mean, this thing will never come back into the 50s. It probably will never even come back to $10, guys. Polkadot, I don't ever think it will come back into this upper range. And really, its fair value for most of its life was in this zone. I don't know if it'll ever even come back up into that zone. And we can look at the fair value for it there. It was at like $4. I don't know if it'll ever come even back up to $4. Now, you are hitting a nice little support level of the pitchfork band here, but, you know, 1, 2, 3, all of this could still be part of the 3, all this choppy overlap in here. I'm thinking Polkadot comes down to 60 cents, 62 cents. By the way, look at where our last short on Polkadot was, where our last purple box was. The SFP of this high into a naked weekly and a daily. If you would have shorted that there, man, you would be in some massive profits. And I forget who asked me. Someone asked me on the stream to cover Polkadot, and that was in the middle of May. We covered Polkadot in the middle of May. But that was the short that we were looking at. And I think that was also like the value area high of this. No, because it was before it. I don't know, but that, yeah, that was a nice short there. You're hitting some support on Polkadot. Money flow looks like garbage still. I was talking with my poker buddies the other night and told them 75-cent XRP might come up in the next month. They were shocked, but they said they would all buy. Yeah, XRP has a lot of big players that are also political. So I think XRP will survive, and I think XRP is going to be one of the ones that is going to be a good buy. XRP is strange because XRP will go sideways for years, and then it will pump. Let's go to the Binance chart or Bybit chart. Actually, we can look at XRP on Binance. I think it's been around the longest. Yeah. You can see, though, it'll go sideways for long times and then pump like crazy, sideways for long times, pump like crazy. So with XRP, I want to see it starting to go sideways for a long time, or at least, you know, a somewhat few months. You had this kind of zone in here. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, 62 to 66 cents is going to be a very, very key support level for XRP. And then if you lose that, like, yeah, 75 to 62, and then if you lose that 50 cents right there, that's like probably your biggest spot opportunity is 50 cents there. 52 to 50, let's say. XRP to 589. I know, man. Some people like so many people don't understand market cap, and it was so funny to me. I was a few weeks ago, I forget, they were talking about some shit coin that had like trillions of coins and total circulating, the total supply, and it was like 6 cents a coin. I think it was Trump's World Liberty Foundation coin at 6 cents, and you know, this guy actually, when I explained to him, he understand market cap, but like a lot of people think that, okay, it's at 6 cents. Maybe in a few years, it'll be at $68,000 like Bitcoin. And it's like, no, you guys, that's not how it works. It's about the total market cap divided by the number of coins, number of coins divided by total market cap. That's going to give you, so the people that think XRP is going to go to $589, I think it would have to be more than $2 quadrillion within XRP's market cap in order for it to go to 589. Something like that. So, yeah. Oh, ADA. I forgot. We'll do ADA. Yeah. ADA USD. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys gold as well. ADA finally hit that 1.618. So, but the big thing on ADA on the weekly time frame, we're looking at that 5-wave move down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even within the third wave, you're still not done in this because you have some 1-2s in here. You have your 3, a 4, and then we had a 5, and now we need another 4 or 5 in order to finish this. But let's see where ADA is at. And I know Charles Hoskinson just said that that he's taking a break, and pretty much a lot of the DApps on ADA are closing down. Look at, we also called the ADA short. Golden pocket, naked weekly point of control at the value area high. Right there. Man, I missed out. We missed, guys, we called the top on ADA. We called the top on Bitcoin. We called the top on Solana. On Solana, I told you guys the SFP of the range high at $97 was the trade to take. We SFP'd that range high right into the pitchfork band, and there was a naked weekly point of control there. We called the top on so many of these and didn't get in the proper, near. I told you guys near at 308 was the previous range value area high and a weekly level. And there was one other one we were just looking at that we nailed the top on. I think that was XRP as well. XRP in the triangle. But ADA is, honestly, I would be waiting until that you find some support, because look at, you're starting to break through your pitchfork band now here. And this is the big bearish pitchfork for this bear cycle on ADA. You could come down to the bottom of the pitchfork, 12 cents, 12, I'd say 13 to 12 cents. And you would want to see this thing slowing down, because this is all kind of one straight drop. I don't know how you would count even a 2 in here. What are you going to say? A 1, and this is some sort of really small running flat, and then this is your 3, 4, 5, like you would have to say, because if all of this is a wave 1, 2, you're going to, that it just doesn't make sense to me. So you would have to count some sort of flat in here. This is clearly a wave 3 right now, increasing volume. You're definitely not going to want to try to long this right now. Look at the increase in volume on this dump to the downside. So for me, when ADA starts getting to 13 to 12 cents, I would start getting interested. But until then, I'm not touching this thing. Honestly, there's nothing down here. We're at all-time lows. Now, you did hit your 1.618, which was a wave 5 target. That's why we have the 1.236 and the 1.618 there. Here and here, because it was a wave 5 target we were looking at. And we're looking at this pretty much as, let me go to like the 3-day time frame. Some 1-2s, 1, 2, 1, 2. You get your big dump in a 3. You got a 4, and this is our first 5. And then you're going to need another 4 and another 5 to finish this. Unless, I mean, you could count that a little bit different. The 1-2's in here. You get your big third wave here. You get a 4, a 5, and then there's another 4, and this could be the final 5 here. And even so, even if that's the count, this is not done. You know, you need that to start calming down and creating some overlap. So for me, 12 to 13 cents. And honestly, other than that, guys, there's nothing else. There's nothing else in here. You probably could find some trend-based Fibonacci extinctions to look at, but for me, I'm not touching it until it gets either, you know, like if you do see wicks past these bands, so maybe we wick past it and we start to bounce in here, start to create a range, then you can look for some sort of long after you establish some sort of sideways range and some support. But until you do that, you're really not, you're gambling. All right, I do want to check ZEC again. I know that it's a nightmare, and this is where I lost so many profits on this thing, man. But it's bouncing really strongly too. And ZEC, for some reason, the big players really like ZEC. But I would be interested in potentially shorting ZEC. See how we're kind of doing this 3-wave move in here? Or if we kind of have like this channel type structure, a low volume ascending channel. Let's throw it to there. And then you kind of come up and back test the pitchfork at 380. I would like to see a move down to, you know, what is that? 245. It's still pretty bearish there. And then on Ondo, Mark, I don't know if you were in here earlier, Mark, when we talked about Ondo. But Ondo, man, it is so nice to see what's happening on Ondo. Sorry, not if you're a bull, but let's go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we knew that this 0.5 Fibonacci was going to be a major rejection target, a potential major rejection target. And I do think we could come take out 16.5 cents because we have our very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could impulse down to take out 16.5 cents. It's a double bottom pretty much. And this, we looked at this yesterday, WXY, and you got your triangle here and an X, and then your impulse in your Y, you have an ABC, right? It's an impulse in a Y. It's an ABC impulse. But what we're looking at now is on after rejecting from that 0.5, which is a wave 4 target, we have the double 1-2s happening in this range here. And it looks perfect. Unlike, I forget which other one we were looking at where the primary 1 and the primary 2 were bigger. On this one, your primary 1, your primary 2, and then you have a secondary 1 and a secondary 2. It's exactly how you want it to look, kind of like this triangle. And like your primary 1 and 2 are less. And then if you're going to see a 3, you're going to see this, you know, and then you could get your 4 5s coming down. And that's your impulse to take out the lows and finish it. Your wave 5 impulse on the weekly time frame. You would expect this probably to take a couple months to come down and take out those lows. And then I'll of course I'm looking for some small scalp positions on this, scalp longs, but like, you know, that naked weekly is also a golden pocket. And I'm looking for like micro time frame longs, but honestly, I probably won't even take that. The reason why I was looking at this is just from this move down from the top of the triangle. If you take your trend-based Fibonacci extinction, your 1-to-1 is right on top of the golden pocket. 1-to-1 at 31.9, golden pocket at 31.9, and then your naked weekly at 31.7. So and for that, I'd be looking for a bounce just to maybe even back test, like something like that, right? Something small. But yeah, it's not looking the best. Money flow looks pretty bad. I will. Yeah, we got the alert set there. Near at 176. I do like that for a scalp. Polka dead. Yeah, it is polka dead. Bolognese. Oh, dude, that sounds delicious. I added some wormhole today. What do you think about it? Okay, wormhole. What is that? Wormhole. I don't know the ticker for wormhole. I think that let me know if this is the right one, Tiraspol hostile. Oof. Oof. You know, um, gosh, you added some. I mean, you're at all-time lows, so I guess it's good to add at all-time lows, but I would personally wait for a sign of strength. You do have bull divs, obviously. You can see lower lows here, higher lows here. Your money flow is curving up. You do have bull divs locally even here. But let's go to the weekly. Yeah, this looks just... And of course, these wicks. So a lot of coins have this wick, which is valid price action. But I mean, I would be looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get your 3-wave corrective move. Maybe this is a 1. This is a flat and a 2. This is your 3, 4, and then you're in your 5th wave here for your wave 3. I mean, that's how you'd have to look at it. 1, you're flat here, 2, 3, 4. So we could pull... But honestly, I'd be paying attention to this downtrend here until you start to break this downtrend. You're in this downtrending channel. You tried to break out, got back in, tried to break out a second time, got back in. So I would be looking at least for a move down to the midline, 00850-ish. Or actually like 00837-ish. But yeah, you can see every move here. Like this looks overall like a 3-wave corrective move, right? Making a lower high. Now, this could be some sort of series of, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't, no, that wouldn't work. As even as a contracting diagonal, it wouldn't work. So you would have to say, classify this last move up as a 3-wave corrective move, meaning you are likely to take out those lows. You have obviously taken out those lows, but you're continuing. So for me, I wouldn't be looking to even long this until you start to see a range, or even looking to spot buy this until you see a range. Because the weekly time frame, yeah, you are starting to see bull divs, but money flow's coming out. You can potentially see bull divs here, but they're not confirmed. And how would you even... I don't like going from the listing high. So we could pull a pitchfork from this high here down. You could look at something like that. We would obviously put this on an original because it is so steep. But yeah, you can see, okay, now we're starting to get some confluence with the channel from the most current price action since last October's dump, and looking at pretty much our bearish pitchfork here. You can see the pitchfork. Let me hide the channel for a second. You can see the pitchfork is being respected. Bounce, reject, tried to get above, came to the bottom, held the bottom, rejected the midline, rejected the midline. So you're coming down to support of the pitchfork band. And also that's going to be your channel midline, I would say, in that band midline area. So let's go to like the daily. Yeah, even I would even say you're going to come a little bit lower to actually hit the band, even if you, so 895-ish, let's say. And then, but your prop, because you already have tried to, actually you've hit the bottom and the top of the band already. In worst case scenario, you're coming down to the bottom of this thing, 0056. But you might see a decent reaction from this because you do have some bull divs forming. Money flow looks horrible, though. Slight bull divs forming. No bull divs here. I would say maybe from around 0089-ish, but you're probably going to come down to the bottom 0080-ish. Jesus Save 77, God bless, man. Good to see you in here. And Time Attack, much love to you as well. Thank you for tuning in and for modding. Hasn't had a run ever. Yeah. Does it have massive unlocks? Isn't Wormhole that Solana bridge that got hacked? And so no one uses it anymore. So it's somewhat of a dead project, maybe. All right, let's get back to Bitcoin. What matters here? Well, we are trying to take out that low, that internal low from earlier today. So we had the SFP. We're coming up. If we reject here, guys, it's not going to look good. Now, we do have finally some bull divs on this thing. On the 15, let's see, do we have hour on NAMI? Yeah, you do have some bull divs on NAMI on the hourly too. So, man, you reclaim 60K, you could look for a long, but, or even reclaiming this low now from earlier today, you could look for a long. But I would honestly be looking to take profit at these highs from yesterday. And then maybe a little bit higher coming up to the value area low. Like I said, I'm not attempting any longs, guys, until we see more of a sign of strength. I'm just, I don't care if I miss a trade. There's always another trade. And look at that money flow. What was, oh, gold. I wanted to check gold, guys. Gold, so I longed the daily at 43. I longed the daily in the golden pocket right here. But once we started to lose we came up and we started to reject the value area low of the range. So we have this smaller range and this bigger range. This bigger range is of our entire corrective kind of channel in here. So I'm going to hide that bigger range for now, but you can see the value area low of that range was where we bounced. And it was also your golden pocket and your daily level. That's why I took a long from 43.77. I took 50% profit when we hit the value area low. I took some more profit once we started to reject it, and then I got stopped out on the rest of my trade. But it was like, it was a pretty good win for me. And now, after, you know, seeing this move up, we did SFP some highs in here, and now we're impulsing down. So I showed in the Telegram these really ugly looking squiggly lines, but on the higher time frames, it looks like we're in a 1-2, 1-2, and we're in our third wave to the downside right now. You didn't SFP this low, so no trade, no SFP, no trade, right? That's what I said in the Telegram, no SFP, no trade. Now that we're breaking the golden pocket, and obviously this is an old daily level, now that you're breaking the golden pocket, your next level to look at is that 786. And even that 786, there's not too much down there. But I'm looking for this last little leg here to be an impulse to the downside. And you have kind of something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-wave move down. So, but the overall target of this move down from 48.90 is to take out the lows. I think we could see another bounce around the 786 or around the pitchfork band. But honestly, I think we're going to take out the lows, and we're probably going to come to that naked monthly at 4,076. That is my next big swing long opportunity on gold. It's at 4,076. And then even inside on gold, earlier today, I was posting, I think it was earlier today, you have your 1-2s in here. You're in your third wave, but even within the third wave, you have 1-2, 1-2. You're in the 3 within the third wave, and then we still need 4 5s within the third wave. So the third wave might end at the 3-8 or at the 786. Your smaller your third wave might end at the 786, and then you get some 4 5s to end the larger move down. But yeah, it's not looking the best for gold right now. What does CBD look like? That's a good question. Let's see here. So this move up that we're seeing is just a bit of a short squeeze. It's a squeeze. You see open interest dropping here. A squeeze or just some people taking profits. Yeah, it looks like shorts closing out. That's why your CBD is rising here. CBD is rising, so the closing of a short is a market buy. That's why our CBD is rising, and we know that it's shorts closing out because open interest is decreasing. Man, you're not seeing any bearish CBD divergence. You're not seeing any divergences here, though. We're making lower lows in CBD, so overall shorts are coming in. Since yesterday, really, we've seen fresh shorts coming in. Now, that is somewhat good. If we can start to break market structure, you can start to see a pretty aggressive short squeeze. And we are starting now to get above that 60K low. Okay, interesting, interesting. Because this still could be an SFP on the higher time frames. Like a daily SFP or a... Today's candle close is going to be important. We want it to close above 60K. Even so, though, guys, I think that it would just be the end of the wave 3. What we now want to see, because like in this wave 3 to the downside, 1, 2, the triangle still could be a 4, and this could be a 5, and then you would get that larger corrective move before seeing another 5 here, right, to finish all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so let's break market structure bullishly, and then I will consider a pullback for a long. But right now, in order to, for me to consider a long position, where's my guy at? I want to break that 61,509. Let's break 61,509. Get a retrace to golden pocket, and then that also is going to give you that left shoulder head, right shoulder type formation, that bottoming reversal formation. But until that happens, I am not touching this thing. Yeah, Tira Hospital, the way that Wormhole looked on the charts, honestly, man, I think that was a smart move on your part to dump it and start to look at something else. Another one that is really good project, guys. We didn't cover it yet today. Hype USD. Like Hyperliquid does have a really good overall. What they provide for the market overall is really good. So Hype coming down to 55. We talked about this yesterday at $55. Our local support obviously didn't hold. It was a naked weekly and a golden pocket. It didn't hold. We busted straight through it. But I also let you guys know yesterday as we were touching it that I'm not longing. And yeah, I think Hype coming down to around 55, a naked daily point of control, a daily level, and some liquidity in here. The scary part is you, and let me go to a chart that has more of a history. The scary part is that we have a potential 3-wave corrective move, a running flat, and then you have kind of another 3-wave corrective move that could be in the making here. So a larger, kind of corrective move. But then we would be looking to come down to the golden pocket pulled from this low at 38. So from 38 to the highs, you'd be looking to come down to around $49 to $48. But you can see that $55 mark is also going to be the $55 mark I showed you guys on the last chart is also going to be right around this pitchfork midline. We took that long right there. That was your wave 4 target of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was your 382 Fibonacci. And there was something else there as well. I think it was a naked daily point of control or something. But this looks impulsive. 1, 2, 3. If we can get a 4 and then a 5 coming down to that $55 mark, 54, 55. Let's mark that out on this chart. We'll go to the daily time frame. We'll mark out that daily level. This daily level. So you have a daily level at 54.61, and then you have that liquidity as well that's right below it at 54. And you would have your pitchfork midline there. And then I believe there was a naked daily point of control there. It's a little bit higher on, no, yeah, it was 55. So between 55.5 and $54. Right now, we're actually hitting a naked daily point of control. That's why we're bouncing a little bit. But now that we're losing the pitchfork band, I would look to back test that for, you know, that $61 area for a potential short. Is the bottom in on Bitcoin? I don't think the bottom is in, but we could see a retrace from here. We could see a bit of a week of a retrace. How long was this guy? Let's see here. Or, yeah, we can look at this wave too. Was 3.5 days. And then we could look at this as well. This was about 3 or 4 days. We could see a retrace 3 or 4 days. Once again, I'm not looking to long this yet. This is straight down. But when this, you see how this is so parabolic right here? When we do start to squeeze it, you're going to squeeze it quick. It is going to stop out all of these guys really quickly. And you're probably going to come up to the value area low to back test the value area low. Money flow does not look good still. Let's see, 15-minute. 15-minute has bull divs, and your money flow has equal lows. I don't like how NAMI doesn't have bull divs here. Hype will play out like ZEC. Yeah, I know that the founder of Near, Arthur Hayes, he talked about how just last week or like 2 weeks ago, he was talking about Hyperliquid going to 150. He said Hyperliquid's such a good product. It's going to go to 150. It's like really top level, like Near. And then he came out like 3 days ago and said, I'm selling my Near positions and my Hype positions. I'm selling all of them, and I'm going to put out an essay in the next week on why I'm selling those. So I don't think he's put out that essay yet, but he all of a sudden got really bearish on Near and Hype. And we are seeing big sell-offs, right? Gosh, coming down a little bit lower. I would like for Near to come down a little bit lower for a scalp. Now, guys, this is going to be a scalp area for me. Not like, I'm not necessarily looking to take this up to new highs. I would actually be looking just to bring it up to these prior lows up here, 224-ish. So from 176 to 224-ish. He dumped on his followers. Yeah, he did. He did dump on his followers. He dumped a lot of Near. And we're not holding if we were looking at a bigger flat here for a wave 4, you would want to hold this like 196 0.5. It's trying to, but it doesn't look the best. This was a nice long from 221. We were looking at that. That was a previous range value area low. There was a naked daily point of control there, and it was your wave 4 target, I believe it was, something like that. I made, I can sum up Arthur's post. I made multiple 8 figures and wanted to go on vacation in Ibiza for the summer. That's why I sold the end. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't look too much into it, so. Don't worry, R Pink left me hanging. R Pink never leaves anyone hanging. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. We're just, think in terms of psychological capitulation. We are in definitely capitulation phase. We're in a capitulation phase on Bitcoin. But generally you have capitulation in time in price, but then after capitulation occurs, you have that time capitulation that happens when you get the big dump and then you range for weeks and everyone is like, gosh, they finally get sick of it and they quit, and that's when the market tends to reverse. So I do think we have maybe some more to go. And technicals are just not showing that this is the bottom. Right now, technicals are not showing this is the bottom. And I wouldn't want it to be because I want to come down a little bit lower anyways. Yeah, BTC has made a poor low, which will probably be taken. Yep. Oh, nice. Shorted ZEC at 606. That's awesome, man. Because it's going to come, it could come down to 245. I'm actually looking to short ZEC if we see a bounce, because it's pretty clear that this was distribution or a head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. And we're breaking the pitchfork down. But if we come up to this, back test this pitchfork and reject at like the 380-ish level, then I think we're going to come down to that POC, because we did front run the POC as well. Let's see if I bring it to here. Yeah, either way, POC is the same. You front ran the POC. And this clearly was impulsive in here. From this in here was clearly impulsive. Actually, from the lows, it was clearly impulsive here. So all of this could be a flat correction. Like on the higher time frames, let me go zoom out to the weekly. We could be looking at on the weekly time frame still in an impulse. A wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, and this all could be a flat where you take out the lows at 3 or at whatever it was, 192 as a flat and a wave 4, and then you get a wave 5 to finally come up and take out those semi-equal highs. So I am still looking on the long term. If we SFP the range lows, I'm still looking for longs. So this here at 185 could be a very nice SFP swing long. Swing for wave 5. And you did hit your 0.9 Fibonacci. So if this was an A, B, and a C, you did hit your 0.5 Fibonacci. Actually, you would have to look at this though, because this is a 3-wave move. 3-wave move. This is obviously all actually looks more impulsive as well. There's some issues with that. Yeah, I would like to reject from 380 and come down to 245. Oh, INJ. Thank you. No, we have not looked at INJ. It's coming down to your pitchfork support level here. We rejected the upper band of the pitchfork, and we're coming down to the lower band. Man. But you're losing that 786. You're not really holding it. So in that case, you're probably going to come down and take out these lows. And that, if you chop for a bit, like you probably will chop for a bit, do something like lose this, back test it, and come down. 444 could be a decent long at the bottom of the pitchfork. If you SFP this into the bottom of the pitchfork, that could be a decent long position. Yeah. Because you did break market structure bullishly by taking out these highs at 580. So because we broke market structure, like on the daily time frame, let me zoom out to the daily. You can see we had some key lower highs at the daily, and we broke them bullishly, meaning that we on now could be flipping to a high time frame bullish market structure. You were in a high time frame bearish market structure, and now we could be flipping to a high time frame bullish market structure. One thing I don't like about this, just like Ordi or Ondo, we have some clear, like you could say here on the weekly, wave one, wave two, wave one, wave two, because there's overlap between the highs and the lows. This is your third wave. And then this does look like a overall 3-wave corrective move here in a 4, just like Ondo, where it looks like it's going to keep going, but it doesn't. And we could make a new 545. We'd have to do 2 more new lows. Yeah. That could be scary. But it's not like it's going to go straight down here, right? You can catch some longs along the way. This is more high time frame stuff, and you can catch all these little pivots within these moves, right? Scalps, protect position. And then if you get stopped out on the rest, it's at least still a small win. But very similar to Ondo, a lot of these coins actually, the very first initial move up is a 3-wave move up. This is not an impulse here. That's a 3-wave move up, meaning that this whole thing is more likely to be a 3-wave corrective move. I sold my INJ yesterday, most of it yesterday, and I think I'll have to check when that what that sold at, but it was before this big dump happened. This big dump happened overnight for me, so I sold it when we were. Well, let me look. Okay, spot. 528.8. Okay, I sold my INJ at 528.8. So I guess it wasn't that high up. I thought it was a little bit, but I also bought my INJ under $3. I bought some at 320. I bought some around this 786 hit. Yeah, awesome. Jesus Save 77. You're in that short on INJ. You are coming down to it. You're trying to hold this 786, so you might see something there, but look at the bear divs you saw on the daily. And money flow is finally starting to top out. You have multiple drives of bear div here. One here, and then another one here. You have the money flow bear div, 3 drives. So yeah, it looks like, and you're not always going to catch the tops and bottoms, guys. Like you got to get out of that mindset. You can try the best you can, yes. But you got to be happy with what, if you start to see a big change in market structure, you're not going to sell the exact top, but you can still take profit. If you were buying in here, you can still take profit up here and be happy. We covered gold. I think the next big entry on gold was for me, well, the next big swing long is at $4,076. But on gold right now, on like the 4-hour time frame, we're in an impulse to the downside. It looks like a double 1-2 impulse. 1-2, 1-2. We're inside the third wave still, pushing down right now. Your third wave could end around the 786, which is 42.68. But honestly, I would wait for this impulse to finish 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So it could be at 4,200 or like 42.15-ish. But honestly, this impulse is likely to take out this low because we're looking at a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some sort of contracting diagonal in here. But I'll post, if I long gold I'll post it in the chat, guys. But yeah, I think the next big buy on gold is going to be the SFP of this low into a naked monthly point of control. And then your 1.236 fib extinction is down there. So I guess I would take this box and extend it over there. And like, honestly, like the naked monthly is really where I'd try to get that. You shorted the hype from 75.1. Nice, Machi. Sarwat, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name. Do you have a website or a trading firm we can join? I just have a Telegram group. And in order to get into that Telegram group, it's free, but you have to join BYDFI, which is one of my partners. So you join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description, and you have to deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of the bigger bonuses. But once you've done that, you click the Telegram link in the description of the video, and you type in /verify and then your user ID for BYDFI, and it will put you into the Telegram. And the money you're depositing into BYDFI is your money. It's just you deposit it on the exchange in hopes you'll trade on the exchange and start using that exchange. And we are making a change in the Telegram in a couple months here where if you don't keep trading on BYDFI, then you might get booted in a certain amount of time. Actually, I got that idea from Andy. And BYDFI was asking me. I asked Andy after BYDFI brought it up. The stock market is not stopping. Please look at the QQQ. Yeah, I'm... Okay, QQQ. Wow. Yeah, it's not stopping. Honestly, you're probably going to take out the lows. You're starting to break the value area low, or I mean the POC, but let's pull our fib here. And if you want, yeah, you're breaking your 786 as well. Let me make sure that's not. You're breaking your 786 now, and you're below the POC, which is where the 786 was. Actually, it's a little bit higher, but I would say you're likely to take out these lows. You had the 4-hour bear divs here. Money flow's draining out. You have bear divs here. Money flow is crossing into the red. This thing was straight up too. So you're, yeah, if you want this to remain bullish, you hope you SFP that low and you keep going. But it could see a major correction. Look at, there's bear divs. Finally, your money flow's topping out. You have bear divs here. You have money flow bear divs here. So on the daily time frame, you're seeing this due for a correction. On the weekly time frame, you actually do have, if your weekly candle closes this red like a bearish engulfing candle, this red, then you are going to confirm weekly bear divs as well. And then that money flow might finally start to roll over. But this is more of a trender than, you know, it's, you get these pullbacks that occur that are pretty aggressive. You grab liquidity and then you keep trending. You can see even here, grab some liquidity, keep trending. So I would be looking at the liquidity grabs. In that case, you're looking at that low. Oops. You're looking at that low here at 695-ish. And that's into the value area low of this range. We can also pull our fib from the lows to the highs, and we can look at our 382, which acts as strong support in a strong trend. Yeah, your 236 is going to be down there. 236 is a super uncommon target, but like in super strong trends, and this has been super, super strong, it will bounce you. But I honestly would be, I would be looking for a big retrace of all of this because you have daily time frame bear divs here. So let's, you know, you can even look at that golden pocket as well. Yeah, and that golden pocket, if we look at our last range, let's just do this range in here. Your value area high of that previous range is going to be where the golden pocket is. So in a worst case scenario, kind of, you can pull back to like, you know, what is this? 637 to 16. That's your real big support level, is this in here. All this is all small stuff that, yeah, I mean, this was hyper aggressive. Look at this. This was hyper aggressive. And if the trend starts to break, right? If you can hold a higher low here, you're going to keep going. But if you break it, it's about market structure, right? Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. If you make a higher low here, you're going to make a higher high. And then you'll probably see that exhaustion starting to come in over the next couple of months. But if you start to break the market structure bearishly, you know, all these higher lows and higher highs, and then you break this low at 695, that's officially a bearish break in market structure. Then you would maybe get a retrace, and then you would start the bearish market structure, right? And then you could come down to golden pocket. But historically, this thing does do, you know, recovers really well. So if you do get down to this golden pocket, that might be a good buy or like a swing long opportunity. Yeah. Okay. For all the AI chads, just put the fries in the bag. I hire someone to do the fires for me. Okay. She's like fries that. Crypto bros, favorite stock is McDonald's, is up 2.61% today. Yeah, and the volatility index over 20 today. That doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, is there a possibility to buy Sol at $30 and sell the top again? Yeah, I do think Sol, if Sol goes down to $30, I still do think it could make new all-time highs, but it would be like years later, right? No, good night, man. Good to see ya. Yeah, the market's about to test the new Fed chair. That's a really good point, Time Attack. Yeah, where Time Attack, by the way, where do you trade the ES and NQ? Like, what platform do you use? Anyways, guys, I've been streaming for almost 2.5 hours, and I got some stuff I've got to do today. Let's look at Bitcoin really, really quickly, and then I'm probably gonna get out of here. Yeah, essentially what I'm looking for is a break in market structure. I want to break this, and then if we get a retrace, I'll look for a long. But until we break market structure, I'm not taking anything. Now, if we get down to the pitchfork and we see another drive of bull divs on like the 15-minute, I might attempt it, but probably not. If we do get down to 58.9, I will attempt a long from 58.9 or 57.9. I'm sorry. That's your naked monthly point of control and your anchored VWAP. And I do think we're going to get a reaction there. So I will attempt that. But other than that, guys, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram over the weekend. I will try to keep you updated the best I can on the trades, but I am going to be playing it a little bit more safe until I see some calming down on the markets. You know, I want to see some breaks in market structure. I want to see some signs of strength coming in. So you guys have a good weekend. Please trade safe out there. Set stop losses. Make sure you have confirmations to enter your trades, please, guys. And then keep an eye out in the Telegram. I will let you know if I take anything. We will. I know it seems hopeless right now in capitulation, and like if you're not in shorts, you probably feel like devastated, you know, either for missing the shorts or for getting stopped out constantly. But we will have opportunity in this market to continue taking trades, okay? There will always be more trades to take, and we will always find those trades to take. So take a deep breath, maybe decompress over the weekend. I know I'm going to because I took a lot of big losses this week. I lost a lot of unrealized profit this week. I realized that I'm calling these tops on these coins like crazy and not holding the trades like I should. Solana, I took my profit there at least. I longed at here. I took the profit there, but I didn't short it. I knew that was going to be a big SFP and a possible dump to new lows. Ethereum's at some nice support. Very, very strong 5-year long point of control. I might look to long Ethereum. You see some bull divs in here on the 4-hour, but I want to see a sign of strength though. So guys, have a good one. Trade safe out there. Much love to you. And I will see you next week. Unless you're in the Telegram,